Okay. Om Sankaram Shankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutrabhasa Kritam Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Ishvara Gururatmeti Murti Veda Vibhagini Vyamavadvatadehaya Sridachinamurtaye Namaha Om Namah Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kardivyo Vansarishibhyo Namo Gurubhya Sarvo Plavarahitaha Pragyana Ghanaha Prategartha Brahmevahamasmi Brahmevahamasmi Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Gangurubhyo Namaha Om Ganganapataye Namaha Om Aim Saraswataye Namaha Om Klim Kalikaya Namaha Om Klim Bhadrakali Namaha Om Durgaye Namaha Om Hrim Namah Shivaya Harihi. So today we are going to study I think today we are going to study Sutra number 15, no?
17.
Sorry, 17.
Page 63.
Yeah. Sutra number 17, Siva Sutra, as per the Agam Sastras. Vitarga Atma Jnanam. Vitarka Atma Jnanam. Vitarka, unwavering awareness. Atma Jnanam, knowledge of self. So two things. We have to understand what is called Vitarka and Atma Jnana. Atma, the wisdom of Atma, the soul, the spirit. Unwavering awareness, what is called Vitarka Atma Jnanam. The yogi who has realized that the universe is only a form of Shiva. Very interesting. You see, once you have the Atma Jnanam, it's two-way. If I have the wisdom of a whole universe, then you understand it's nothing but the Shiva consciousness, the unknown consciousness, the eternal consciousness, or Vitarka Atma Jnana. Being a yogi who realizes its own self as Atma, such wisdom leads you all the way to understand the absolute consciousness, the eternal consciousness, and it is Shiva. We shall go a little bit briefly. Vitarka in this context does not mean deliberation, which is merely thought construct, but unwavering awareness, with full conviction, unwavering awareness that I am Shiva, constitute the knowledge of self. It's a bitarka. Bitarka is the constant awareness, the constant consciousness is known as Atmagyan. Those who have holding the continuity of the awareness. As I am Shiva, means I am the pure consciousness, and that is Atma. So Shiva consciousness, not separation from the Atma. So that has to be clear. So what is Atma? That is Shiva. And what is Shiva? That is the pure consciousness. Visvatma Shiva Evas, that what you have been studied, the first sutra in the Shiva Sutras, that what is called Chaitanam Atma. Atma itself the conscious. Atma itself the eternal consciousness. But here this is the Atma Jnanam, Vitarka Atma Jnana. It means the person who enlightenment of the Atma Jnana, so naturally a person realizes I am Shiva, I am the pure consciousness. So Shiva and Atma, there is no difference. Shiva itself, the pure consciousness. So Lord Shiva. So when somebody asks what is Shiva, you say the pure consciousness, the eternal consciousness, the unknown consciousness, the divine consciousness is Lord Shiva. What else? Who have the pure love and the compassion to itself and towards others. So therefore Lord Shiva is the incarnation and personifications of the compassion among the all God and Goddess. So therefore Lord Shiva equally love to all. Only a person can equally love to all when the Atma Jnana is there. Without Atma Jnana, we can't actually love equally to everyone. It's a Visvatma Shiva Evasmi Itio Vitarka Vichara. Etadevasya Atmagyan Taduktam Se Vijnana Bhairavi. Sarvajna Sarvakarta Cha Vyapaka Parameswara. Sarvajna Sarvakarta O Vyapaka. The highest Lord Shiva. So highest Lord Shiva, what it is? Lord Shiva is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. Sarvajna, omniscient. Sarvakarta, omnipotent. Vyapaka, omnipresent, which is everywhere. All pervades. So Lord Shiva is everywhere. Then Eva Evaham Saiva Dharma Iti Badhariya Chivo Bhavet. As the character of Shiva, I am that very Shiva. With this strong conviction, one becomes Shiva himself. Sarvajna Sarvakarta Cha Vyapaka Parameswaraha Sa Evaham Saiva Dharma Iti. Saiva Dharma, as per the Shaivism, as per the Agam Sastras, Saiva Dharma Iti Badaya Chiva Bhave Iti Spandeti. So, then before verse they say, Visatma Shiva Evasmi, the yogi who holding the constant awareness, I am Shiva. The self of the universe constitutes the knowledge of self. This is called Saktopaya. The same idea has been expressed in Vijnana Bhairava in the following verse. So this quotation comes from the Vijnana Tantra. Sarvajna Sarvakarta cha Vyapakaha Parameswaraha Sa evaham saiva dharma iti badaya chiva bhavet iti spande. So being a sadhaka, being a yogi, those who realize the highest form of Lord Shiva is omniscient, omnipotent, or omnipresent. And this is the characteristic of the Lord Shiva, the characteristics of the Iswara, the characteristics of the God Almighty. And those who experience this, then the person, the sadhaka, the yogi, can say, I am Shiva, I am the pure consciousness. What does that mean? It's not about, they talk about your physical body. They talk about the soul and the spirit. So when a yogi realizes, I'm present. I know everything. Sarvajya, Sarvakarta. I am doing everything. Then Vyapakaha Parameswara. And I am also pervaded. I am also present. I am present everywhere. Parameswara. Param means supreme. Iswara, the supreme Lord. And once we experience that, then you can say, I am Shiva. There's no difference. Shiva and ourselves. Therefore say, Shivoham, 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 Shivoham. I am Shiva. And I'm everywhere. And I know everything. There's nothing to know anymore. And Sarvakarta. So without my consent, nothing can happen. The same thing has also been said in the following verse, Pandakarika, that different kind of commentaries. The realization of oneself as Shiva is the acquisition of ambrosia. It is verily the vertebral seizure of the self, the conscious, the Dikhya for Nirvana. This conference of the oneself, the relation of one's identity with the Shiva. In this for the seizure of self means of the knowledge of self. By this phrase, it is also intended to express the idea that oneself is non-different from Shiva, the self of the universe. So now we are very clear. So our self is no different than the whole universe. Ourself. So so once you realize the Atma, and you can feel also yourself. I am also not a separation from Shiva. So I am becoming Shiva. But due to Ajnana, due to Avidya of this Jiva, not realize the Atma. That is what we have been speaking last class. Due to Avidya, the Jiva does not realize the Atma. So therefore, in the samsara, we are suffering. In samsara, we have raga and dvesa. The moment you have the Atma Jnana, there will be no raga and dvesa. Same time, the Parasakti is not separation from the Shiva. It is the one. That what it means. But as per the dualism, it's a Shiva and Shakti is separate. Separate. Actually not. As per the Saivagam, as per the Shiva Sutra, Parasakti not separation from the Shiva, and Shiva is neither separation from the Shakti as well. It is only one, or the pure consciousness. So without Shiva, Shakti will be not there, and without Shakti, and one can recognize the Shiva. So you can say that there are no separations actually. We see as the separations, but there are no separations. If you go study original science of Tantra, Shiva and Shakti, there is no separations. There are actually no dualism. It seems Shiva and Shakti, separation, actually not. So therefore, the sutra number comes, Shiva Shaktya Yadi Bhavati Sakta Prabhavitam Nache Devam Deva Kalak Kalakusala Spanditamapi Atasmamaradhyam Harihara Virincha Devirapi Prananta Sratova Katham Krita Punyaha Prabhavate Siddhikya Surupa Sambodha Dhanatmakam Vedamaya Bandhanat Sha Chapanak La Shara Sha Ramakant Samskara Visesha. Diksha is a particular consecration ceremony for initiation into higher life, conferring on the initiate the gift of knowing oneself and casting away the impurity, to the sense of difference that binds oneself. Very interesting. So what is called Diksha? So very interesting, they speak about Diksha in the commentaries. You see, Ityanena eta duktena tatrahi atmena grahanam graho jnanam etadi yadisva makaha shiva bharinatva esupi artho vivachita. So Diksha, they speak about Diksha. Diksha is a particular ceremony, is particular consecration ceremony, is auspicious ceremony for initiation into higher life, into higher understanding the meaning of life, conferring on the initiated the gift of knowing oneself. So generally, there is many kind of Dikshas, but particular Diksha you can take as the highest, which Diksha leads you all the way to understand yourself for the Atma Jnana and casting out the impurity. Let the free from all kind of impurities, the negative karmas, the prarabdha, present, all the future, all karmas to be free. Due to the sense of difference that binds oneself. So, due to impure karmas, is leads to us sufferings, miseries. Nirvana. Nirvanam Nibritah Dvaita Pratikalakas Shakanaka Shobha Pari Chayad Atyantiki Prasantihi Samvidvaha Saswa Bhava Vyas Vyava Tithi. Nirvana is a beatitude, the beautiful, which means absolute peace, resulting from the destruction of the mental disturbance caused by the harboring belief in dualism. The establishment of the conscious, it is natural. You see, if you are following the Saivism, if you think Shiva and Shakti is the two or the separation each other, then such kind of sadhana also lead to sufferings. Because dualism Nirvana means one has to free from the dualism. One has to free from the separation. Due to avidya, due to raga, dvesa, asmita. So what happens? The jiva is separation from the atma. Actually, atma is there. But what happens? Jiva don't realize this. Jiva don't realize. If jiva realize, I'm at part and parcel of the atma, so I am free. So there is no cause to suffering. So absence of knowledge of atma is bring sufferings to jiva. Similarly, when absence knowledge of parasakti, then jiva also going to suffering as well. So two things are here. Shiva itself, the atma, and parasakti is no separations. No separations. So once you have wisdom of the parasakti, so naturally you realize the Shiva, and there is no any sufferings anymore exist anymore. Once you have wisdom of the parasakti, so naturally realize the Shiva consciousness. That means being realize the wisdom of parasakti and keep continuity and awareness of that parasakti consciousness, one able to realize Shiva and becoming free from all sufferings. That means Jiva not going to suffering anymore. Jiva can suffer only so far we don't have Atma Gyan. So therefore, as per the great Mahatmas, great Brahma Gyan is Atma Gyan. And whenever they realize they are not the Jiva, they are the pure Atma, they are the pure Shiva consciousness. As per the Agam Shastra, they are following the Saivism, Sadhana and Saiva and Shaktism. So they realize there are no sufferings. There are no sufferings for the Jiva. They realize themselves, I am the Shiva and I am the pure consciousness. So that is the Saivagam. Saivagam. So there is no actually dualism. But only thing is concern is what has to be done. But what has to be done? We need to awaken that consciousness, the consciousness parasakti. And once you are develop the pure wisdom of the parasakti, so naturally you realize I'm the Shiva, and that is the wisdom, that is the vidya, and that vidya leads you all the way free from sufferings and miseries as a Jiva. So here the concern about to not the Shiva consciousness, but a concern about the Parak Sakti consciousness, as when you study in Tantric concept. But as per the Saivism, there is a all are the pure Shiva consciousness, nothing but Shiva. So there they speak about Atma. Atma is the pure consciousness. Atma, Chaitanya Atma. The Atma is pure consciousness, and that is the Shiva. So Shiva is the omnipotent, omniscient, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. So the 16th Sutra, what they speak? This is 16th Sutra exhorts the aspirant to trace back the universe to its ultimate source. Shiva and regard it as a epiphany as Shiva himself. The present Sutra now calls upon the aspirant to regard the self as their very Shiva. The 16th Sutra teaches that the objective world is the essence of Shiva. Subjective world. And the 70th teaches that the subject is the also Shiva. The whole world, the whole cosmos, whole universe, Shiva itself. But at the same time, they say your Atma also the Shiva. If you know the Atma, you know the Shiva consciousness. This to be realized not by tarka or logical reasoning. You see, no bitarka. There should be no bitarka. Bitarka means there's supposed no arguments. Bitarka means absence of tarka, the constant awareness. Tarka means logical reasoning, logical arguments. This is to be realized not by tarka, not with logical arguments, but not by vikalpa, not by imaginations, or thought concept, but by the vitarka or an awareness in which all tarka has disappeared. So you have to develop such a consciousness. There will be no tarka, there are no logical arguments, there are no logical thoughts. Not only that, there are no vikalpa. There is supposed to be no any kind of imaginations. So an awareness in which all tarka has disappeared. So all kind of logical arguments has to be removed, has to completely disappear. No thoughts. By an indefinable, irresistible conviction of the self being Shiva. So how to convince yourself? This how to convince yourself. That is very important. You see, this is to be realized, not by tarka. So now we can clear a logical mind never can realize the essence of Shiva consciousness. So logical mind never ever going to realize the Shiva consciousness. Not even the Saivis matter to understand. So through our intellect, through our sense organs, or sensual knowledge, or intellectual knowledge, through our mind, through logical mind, doesn't matter what kind of mind you have. It does not going to help you in order to understand the Shiva consciousness. So to convince yourself I am Shiva, to convince yourself I am Atma, we need to work out beyond mind, matter, and phenomena. So by proper dhyana, proper samadhi. But there is many kind of samadhi. So we need to have proper samadhi. Samadhi can help us in order to remove, in order to free from all kind of tarka, the logical arguments, or logical reasonings. Generally, we like to have a lot of logical reasons. You see, three things. There is no about Atma. There are no logical reasons. Wisdom of Atma, Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, even about love. Love has no logical reasons. And wherever logical reasons come, there is absence of love. And compassion, there are no logical reasons. Three things: love and compassion, Atma Jnana, the Brahma Jnana, all are the same. Is nothing with a logical reason. So far you have you always try to have logic for your love, for the compassion, for the Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, not possible. So therefore, in our mundane life can be beautiful. The samsara can be beautiful. When you have proper Atma Jnana. And once you have Atma Jnana, Brahma Jnana, you have the compassion, you have the love. So naturally, you can smoothly living, peaceful living in your social material life, in the samsara, in the mundane. But so far you not experienced that higher love, is not possible to life all the time without any difficulties, material. So therefore, always to be wise, to have the proper Atma Jnana, the Brahma Jnana, the Shiva consciousness. Then you can peacefully managing all kind of your life, either it is spiritual or material, or household lives, or business life, so whatever life you are going to lead, that you can manage so well. Then Sutta number 18, that I don't know, so we will go to the, I just read the sloka today. I don't think so today I'm going to explain this. I would like to meditate for time being with all of you. This Sutta number 18. Lokanandaha samadhi sukham. Lokanandaha samadhi sukham. Lokanandaha samadhi sukham. So how one can be eternally happy in this samsara? This is a person who attains samadhi. This is loka ananda. In this plane, in this world, we can be in blissful, happy, peaceful all the time if one can attain samadhi sukha. Samadhi. So in samadhi, one can attain all kind of bliss and happiness. So later we shall go for this speech. Loka means both whatever is observed and the observer, both the subject and the object. So loka. In this loka, in the samsara, that subject and object is ananda, the bliss, the delight that the yogi feels abiding in this nature of a knower in respect of both. Samadhi sukham, delight of continuously maintaining the awareness of a knowership or happiness or bliss. But samadhi here they speak about different translations. To know and to know the true self, the awareness of the true self, that is called samadhi. Samadhi not about actual bliss as per here translation. Samadhi means here one need to keep continuity, awareness of the Atma, the pure consciousness, or Shiva consciousness. The delight that the yogi feels abiding in his nature are the knower in respect of both subject and object in the world, in his delight of samadhi. So two things. Being keep continuity, awareness of the Atma, being keep continued, a sadhaka need to keep continuity, awareness of Atma. At the same time, a person can happy and bliss in the samsara, the world of subject and objective, the dualism. In the world of duals, also one can enjoy and be happy, eternal, not temporal but eternal, once they have knowledge of the inner self, that same thing they're repeating, but different terminology they put. Samadhi, loka, ananda, samadhi sukha. Loka means here the human consciousness, the consciousness of the material world, where one can observe both the subject and objects. So another thing is very interesting that it's a lokayati iti loka vastu gramaha, lokayati iti cha loka grahaka vargaha tasmin spurati sati. Another thing very interesting that the grahya grahaka sambitah samanyah sarvadehinam yoginam to viseshoyam sambadhe savadhanat iti. So Vijnana Bhatta Kanika Rupita Nitya Prabharti Pada Visrantya Udhanama Samatkara Mayo Ya Ananda Eta Deva Asya Samadhi Sukham Taduktam Tatre Sarvam Jagadaso Deham Va Swananda Bharitam Smarit Yiga Pastva Mritanaiva Paranandayo Bhave iti. Then another. Athacha yatasya swataramasya samadhi sukham tadeva tata drishyam avalokatam lokanam anandas sankramana yukta swananda bhikshakti pariyavasaya bhavati. Etadapi si chandragyana granthina prayuktina susambhava. So next time I'll explain different commentaries about Loka Ananda Samadhi Sukham. The Sutta number 18. I would like to also keep continuing this next class. Not tomorrow, but next class when comes. So today this much. So one yogi, a yogi who is conscious about the self, they can also aware of the world of subject and objects, the dualism, the samsara. So a yogi who have the Brahmajnana or Atmajnana or the consciousness I am Shiva, so naturally such a person can live peacefully and happy. Does not matter what kind of life they live, not necessarily a monk and nun. You can have your family life as well in the samsara. And there a yogi can aware of the subject and object. But the question mark is it possible to live? Is it possible to realize in the samsara? So anyway, that you must direct get guidance from your own master, the guru, how we can do sadhana in order to realize the civic consciousness and same time maintaining the family, the world life as well. So sadhana, sadhanas are always concerned with the masters and disciples. Or if you know enough, then you can keep continue your own sadhanas. So this much today. So let we shall. I would like to sit down 5 minutes silent meditations. So keep eyes closed. Gently bring your whole attention on your breath, on your respiration. Make yourself physically comfortable. Observe silence. For a few minutes, about 5 minutes. So bring your whole attention and breathe. Chant with me 3 times Om mantra all together. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyati Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasisyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Sankaram Sankaracharyam Kesavam Badarayanam Sutrabhasakrito Vande Bhagavanto Punaha Punaha Ishvaraguratmeti Murti Veda Vibhagine Vimavadvyapta Dehaya Siddhachinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lokaha Samastaha Sukhino Bhavantu. 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 Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. So thanks to all of you today. So next good, after listening the lectures, you must meditate 10-15 minutes. Always meditate. It's great help. When you listening lectures, you must introspect. You need sometimes homework. Just 10 minutes, sit down and what you have been receiving and the knowledge, you may introspect, you may think about it. Thank you.